You understand me? A lot of people may not buy.
You seem like you disagree with that.
Yes, I disagree. Not really, because I remember when we had the Lagos lottery, and then you could use little sum of money, 15 naira, thereabout. Depends on how many numbers you were picking.
I think wasn't a lot of money.
Depends on how many numbers you were playing. 2 picks, 3 picks.
Maybe what he means is the chance of winning becomes tougher when it's like a national.
Okay, even the Lagos lottery then, because there's the main prize, which is when you have all the draws, like all the numbers. Then when you have 2 picks, 2 of your numbers qualify, 3 numbers get set. You get other sums of money. So it's basically almost the same thing with the Baba Ijebus. So I disagree.
Like I would still go to the technicalities of the business. Another reason why Baba Ijebu succeeds is that the Lagos Lotto operates what we call a pari-mutuel system, which is the prize money is relative to the amount of stakes that have been bet. So if, for example, people all together, you've gotten stakes of like 10 million naira, the government may take maybe 50% of that amount. So the prize money you will share will be 5 million naira. But for things like Baba Ijebu, you know what you are winning. And people feel, when you are sure of what you are winning, people can connect with that more. I would also agree with her from the angle. I would also say that this prize money thing is not the only reason why Baba Ijebu is succeeding. Now they're succeeding is because they've been able to permeate, they've been able to go into the nooks and crannies. And even a basic name like Baba Ijebu is something you can connect with.
Yeah. I know I've been at the barbing salon once. My barbing salon, when one of the barbers there won, I think 40,000 naira while I was cutting my hair there, and it was a big deal. And what I found interesting was the fact that the Baba Ijebu agent or whoever it was actually came to the barbing salon to show them their numbers, and the person that won got his money there. So it wasn't like, I don't know whether that's a model that they use where they come like this, like a home delivery. I don't know how that works.
Okay, because there are lots of lottery companies. We have the Baba Ijebu is Premier Lotto. That's run by Adebutu Kessington. He owns, because he's from Ijebu, so they call it Baba Ijebu, basically. You have the Premier Lotto, you have the Ritual Lotto, you have the Golden Chance Lotto. So there are lots of Lotto companies. So it depends on the system the Lotto company employs, and also not just the system, the lottery agents. Because you hear about people that go to certain agents maybe on their streets and they win, and the agent doesn't give them the money. So it also depends on the agents and the lottery company as well. So
how did you work when you worked with Ritual Lotto?
Okay,
did you do that sort of a thing, or? Okay,
because then information technology was not really as advanced as it was now. So I was in validation.
Yeah.
The tickets people, the numbers people play, there were a whole lot of us going through the numbers, checking how many numbers were, how many people got certain numbers and all that. So validation, basically.
Okay. Now, so I came across a very interesting fact. In 2013, there's an estimated revenue from the gambling sort of industry in Nigeria of 40 billion naira. That is a lot of money. I don't think we've even scratched the surface. Why then do people think it's a bad thing? I mean, it looks like a great revenue earner. People can make good money from it, like you said, by chance. So why is it not encouraged?
Well, first things first, you have to, gambling, first to say that in foreign climes, they actually even call it gaming, because the word gambling seems
derogatory,
very dirty word. But the thing is, there are several factors that lead to gambling having a bad name, and why some people don't want to engage in it. There are religious factors. For example, Islam and some Christian denominations forbid it because they feel that it's you plan to earn money without working hard
for it.
They feel that the people who end up not winning may feel some form of ill feeling
and contempt,
and they feel that it can be, and they also rightly feel that it may be addictive. But some other, also in religion, some other Christian denominations like the Catholics feel that gambling is not necessarily bad, so long as it's done willfully, so long as you are not depending on it as your primary source of income, and so long as it is a fair game of chance, it is not being manipulated and nobody's cheating anybody, then you can engage in it. The fact is, there's almost no activity that cannot be abused. Alcohol can be abused, food can be abused, water can be abused, the environment, nothing.
So just to clear it up, you say the Catholics don't necessarily encourage it, but they just don't frown upon it.
No, the Catholics, for example, I know Catholic churches that run lotteries, raffle draws,
and like harvests,
and that really is a form of gambling. But the thing is, there are so many recreational activities that you can engage in. Gambling is one of them. So many people who engage in gambling don't. For example, if you stake 100 naira or even 1,000 naira to play a game and you don't win, you don't feel cheated, and that's why gambling has one of the highest repeat customer rates. And if you do it for recreation, you would enjoy it. But if you look at it as solely a profit-making venture, then you might face.
I like how she disagrees with you. What's your issue now?
I disagree because maybe in other climes, gambling is recreational. But here, with the economy downfall and
poverty definitely has a role to play.
Not lots of people that play that lotto or go to the Baba Ijebus, as we call them, are people, not just from poor places, unemployed youths, and all that. Everybody is playing that game for a chance, hoping, dreaming to win it big, to better their lives, to move from where they are to something better, to own cars, houses. So, I think that's basically why people here in this climb play the lottery. But
even in every climb, because I know I have spent some time out of this country at the points where, and I think it was $1 for a ticket for the National Lottery where I was, and I know at a point I would look forward to buying it every day, and we have those hopes of $250,000 might just drop on my laps. So even if it's not necessarily poverty, sometimes you just want to, that chance, it's $1.
And did you feel cheated when you didn't win?
Well, there were a few times when I was like, come on, are you sure these numbers are real? Because I felt I should have gotten it. But that's what I want to get to now, the addictive part of it.
Okay.
Where do you stop? Like you said, it becomes a recreational activity. How much recreation can you possibly get into when it becomes a problem?
Recreation.
The thing about addiction is, what really is addiction? Addiction is when you are so attached to something to the extent that you can no longer function properly or effectively. So that is where we have to look at the definition of gambling. You have to look at the relationship between gambling and addiction carefully. If, for example, you earn ₦1 million a month and you spend 50k on gambling or even 100k, it's not as dangerous as someone who earns 100,000 spending 90,000 of his salary on gambling. So it may appear to be addictive, but you need to look at what the player's net worth is. But that is not to say that gambling is not addictive. But the question now is, you have to look at both the positive elements of gambling and the negative elements. What ratio of people are addicted to gambling? And another thing is, what other vices could they engage in? You can say someone is, because if you look at addiction is essentially you running away from something. So when someone, for example, is addicted to gambling, it's perhaps because he has been trying to get a job and he doesn't have a job, and he feels, okay, he can keep staking this small amount and one day he's going to make it big. But for problem gamblers who have lost their houses and lost everything, I think they're a minority.
But do you have to get to losing your house to know there's a problem? When do you know to stop and maybe seek help or something?
Okay, the thing is, like most addictions, people who are addicts don't even know they are addicts. And that's the problem. So it's the same thing with gambling. Those who become addicted to gambling don't even know they are addicted to it actually. Because it now gets into the sense of them going to steal, borrow money. It gets so far. You see people that are extremely wealthy. Even wealthy people start gambling and in the end they lose everything because they've been gambling. So how then do you know, like you asked, that okay, this is becoming a problem? Sometimes they don't even really know until the end, because they how you as a family member can even know, okay, this person is becoming addicted to this, is maybe when you look at how much time he spends going to that place to check the gambling numbers, the tickets numbers, or how much he spends in gambling, or whether he's doing something productive at that time. If he was rich and things are declining, then you can say, okay, this is becoming, or maybe he's missing appointments, he's missing interviews and all that. Okay, this is becoming a problem. There's something, or money is missing from the wallets. Or maybe person is a youth staying with the parents and mom's money starts getting missing. school fees and all that. You say, okay, a problem has started somewhere. So yeah, that's how you tell.
What about the stock exchange? I think that's another very interesting angle. People tend to call it, staking your money and investments. But I mean, the stock market basically is gambling. You have stockbrokers who advise you and tell you, okay, this and this is going to happen if you put so and so. But we had a time in Nigeria when there was like a big bust. People invested all their money in all of these banking stocks, and today a lot of people have not recovered. That's also gambling, isn't it?
Not all of securities trading or stock trading is actually gambling. There's something called speculation. That is the area of stock trading that is gambling, and that essentially is a situation where you invest or you buy a company's shares without looking at the underlying factors about the company. For example, without looking at whether the company is doing well, making profits, generating revenue, you just invest hoping that the price would rise. In that case, you are just gambling, you are speculating. But for someone who is a learned investor, who is investing in a company that is doing stuff that is progressive and that would grow, you can't call it too much of gambling. What happened in the Nigerian banking sector was that a lot of people were seeing shares that were 4 naira today becoming 10 naira tomorrow, 10 naira today becoming 20 naira tomorrow. So they thought it was going to continue rising, and eventually reality has to set in. And when reality sets in, a lot of people got burned.
That's a very interesting word you use, burnt.
Sure.
I have a couple of friends who usually gather around once in a while. They hang out, they play cards. You put 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3K, whatever it is, and when does it get that sort of a thing gets serious? Like, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, you're just friends hanging out, playing cards. The winner gets the 10K and moves away. How often should it happen before you become worried or it becomes a problem?
Okay, if it keeps happening every time you guys meet, or the stakes get higher, like maybe from the little money it becomes maybe a car, your car, or it's getting out of hand and it has to be controlled, maybe, or a fight starts up, something, there's always a trigger, a warning sign somewhere that, okay, this is really getting out of hand. And also with the economic thing, I think, let's be sincere, my personal point of view, all the stock exchange and all that, it's gambling in a professionalized, legalized, yes, gambling in suits, if you know what I mean. And the meltdown, I think this was a global meltdown. The economic meltdown. It wasn't just in Nigeria it happened, it was everywhere, because even the US, the UK, everybody suffered from that. Everything went high, then boom, it was off. So it was everywhere.